What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 5 of Psychotic and Iconic. I want to give a shout out to all of our followers. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and answering to all of our polls on Instagram. We've really been enjoying it. As always, shout out to Ant Saracusa for our intro song. Everybody go follow him on Instagram at JustAnt. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Mikey P, and we're going to get the show started.
Yeah. Going right into the NBA Finals, guys. The Milwaukee Bucks. I can't believe I'm saying this. The Milwaukee Bucks are the NBA champions.
Deservingly so.
What?
I know.
Deservingly so.
Totally deserving.
What? I can't even process that sentence right now.
I'm a little upset that we just got swept right off the board. 5, 6, and 6.
Oh, my God.
And I was contemplating 5.
Nick said 5 without hesitation.
Everything that we predicted was the total opposite.
I honestly
It's
feel
not
like
just us.
I honestly
ahead.
feel like I cursed Chris Paul. I cursed everybody, I feel like.
I know. You cursed
Besides
the Warriors.
Brady,
You
but
cursed
like
the
that's it.
Warriors
I know. Oh my
against
God.
the Raptors.
But
Chris
what,
Paul might have cursed himself.
Yeah.
For real.
But what an incredible finals
It was an
overall.
awesome
Oh,
final.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Because I'll be honest with you guys, I thought it was going to be a snoozer after the first 2 games. I was like, oh, well,
Yeah, kind
this
of,
is,
but
we already
that-
know who's going to win.
And the reason we all thought that was because we all thought that Budenholzer was such a bad coach. We didn't think he could adjust. And, I mean, he answered the bell. He must be watching the show.
He should.
Has to be.
Yeah, tune in. I appreciate it.
We relentlessly, let's have a flashback moment here, guys. We relentlessly shit on Giannis in round 1. We relentlessly shit on Budenholzer round 1, round 2, and maybe even previewing this series. We took a dump on the guy, basically.
I was trashing Drew Holiday, too. Not so much trashing him, but I was just saying, like, he was playing like shit.
Inconsistently.
Yeah, and he was catching no flat flare. I know.
And
here's the
Chris
thing.
Middleton, too. We went that direction.
Drew didn't really even play particularly well on offense last night either. His defense was awesome.
Was the factor.
I mean, he put
The
put
clamps
Chris
on Chris
Paul.
Paul.
He
Yeah.
really did, bro. He locked him up.
Did you guys see what Kendrick Perkins said about him today? He
What'd he
says
say?
he's the best two-way player in the league right now.
It's not. I mean,
And I mean, he's definitely up there, but like the best. Like you're forgetting Giannis in that same breath, you know. Like, but I'm just saying, he said that today. He said it was like top 5 best teammate he's ever had.
That's
and
not
he's
an
the
outrageous
best two-way player in the game.
it's not an outrageous take that he's he's definitely a top 5 two-way player, in my opinion, anyway.
I can't think of 5 names that
Because,
are
like I
better.
said, he actually locked up Chris Paul. He really did. Chris Paul didn't play bad. He couldn't go get you 30 and 40 because he was, he's really getting defended.
What do you think? Like, obviously Giannis was the X factor, but after Giannis, what changed this series? Like, what was it for you guys?
In my opinion, it came down to coaching. I feel like Giannis started playing bully ball. He wasn't like Monty Williams was also kind of getting outcoached, like in terms of he was leaving Ayton on an island, and Ayton was just getting like tossed around. I mean, last night he didn't look like he belonged.
He played scared.
I have high praise for him because I'm really a big fan of Ayton. But they showed the stat today. He had 12 and 6, and the player he was guarding had 50 and 14. And it's like, or 50 and 13. And one other crazy
50
stat.
piece.
Yeah. One other
50-piece
crazy
Chick-fil-A
stat.
nugget.
Pat Connaughton had more rebounds than DeAndre Ayton last night. And he comes off the bench for the Bucks. He had 8 rebounds.
That's unacceptable by every measure. Literally, that is unacceptable.
When I saw that, I was like, what? I actually couldn't believe it. 8 to 6.
I didn't know that till you just said that, and that's pathetic. Embarrassing.
He out-rebounded Ayton.
It hurt.
Ayton just didn't look
It
ready
hurt
for
to
the
watch
moment.
that because I love Ayton.
Me
I'm a
too.
big
He looked
fan.
like he was playing scared the last.
He
few
was,
games.
because you could tell in the beginning
that's
he was
just
so
me.
timid. He was hitting the front of the rim when normally shots that he makes. And but just watching it last night, I genuinely did feel bad for him because you could just tell he was overwhelmed by the moment. And the Bucks came out and they came out loud from jump.
Yeah, for me, like 3 H's: hunger, heart, and humility.
Yeah.
That's why they won. Honestly, that was the difference. Because I feel like when the Suns were up 2-0, I feel like they were kind of cocky in a way. Like, oh, we're going to win this.
Because everyone
And then
said they would.
Everybody was
So,
riding Chris Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, it's finally going to happen for him.
Yep.
Finally.
And I was one of them.
Yeah, I know. I was
I'll
there
be
too.
an-
Me
I'm being
too.
honest,
I was happy for him, and I was ready to be like, all right, this isn't a series.
But you know what's funny about it? I'm actually really, really happy for Giannis. I really am. Like, he played awesome. That was one of the most legendary performances I've ever seen.
He's so relatable as a superstar, and the humility that he shows, like you just said, is just like, he's like egoless. Like, he doesn't have an ego, and he just goes out there and he plays as hard as he can all the time. He plays the game with joy.
Yeah.
Guys,
And, like,
I will never say a bad word about him again.
I can't.
Ever.
I think I was
Ever.
I think I said it to you last night on FaceTime. I'm like, dude, he won me over in the last 6 games. I'm like, because, like, how do you not root for a guy like that? Seriously, how?
If you watched him in this series and your takeaway wasn't, I'm impressed and I'm rooting for him, there's probably something wrong with you. Or you were just a Suns fan, one of the two. I mean,
Even if you're a Suns fan, though, you can't say anything negative about Giannis for what he did.
you got to
last night.
respect it. It was literally like just jaw dropping. Could not believe what I was watching.
Straight up dominant.
2 straight 40-plus point performances, a 50-piece nugget. He went to Chick-fil-A. Did you see that?
That
He went
was
to
the
Chick-fil-A.
best.
That was awesome.
He got exactly 50 pieces.
And I'll tell you what,
Okay?
I'm trying,
He's gonna get a he's
Not
gonna get a sponsorship
51,
deal.
not 49,
Yeah.
50.
and I'm trying a half lemonade, half Sprite.
That sounded like it slapped.
I know. When he said that, I was like, ooh. Ooh, like, I'm going to get that 100%.
Like, the difference though between Giannis and Chris Paul in this series, because that was like the two guys I was watching the most, and that's the 2 guys that everyone's watching the most. But like, the difference was straight up hunger. Like, Giannis said, Game 3 on, I will not let you take this from me. He showed up in this Game 6. He showed up and says, we're not going to Phoenix. There is no way under any of my being, like under all my power, there is no way we are going back to Phoenix. We're winning it tonight, and just let me carry you guys.
Did
That's
you
what
see
he
the
said.
report that when the Suns players were entering the building, they were bringing the champagne
Oh, no.
in front of the Bucks locker room? I love that. And for a second, it actually was like, okay, the Suns are going to win now. Like, there was a part of me that thought the Suns were going to do it.
Wow.
Just from, I mean,
Motivational factor.
yeah, like that's
I would be
literal
motivated.
Bulletin board material.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Giannis' stats last night were just ridiculous. 50 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 blocks. He's all over the court.
He blocked Booker.
All over the place, man.
That Booker block was awesome.
I think in the final few minutes of the game, the defense from Giannis and Drew Holiday, it was some of the best defense I've ever seen in a game.
And
ever.
my thing with Giannis too is, man, like, Middleton was in the G League, and that was like his right hand. I mean, that was just awesome to see. And then, like, his post game speech saying how, like, they push each other and all that, like, everything that he was just saying, man. I was just like, I was looking at him and I'm like, damn, man, like, he really earned that. Like, I'm so happy for him.
I genuinely admired what I saw because
Yeah.
they went through the struggle together. They grew together, and they were clutch together. They came out on top together. It was just crazy. I mean, Chris Middleton had a couple of daggers at the end. It was just like turning points.
And
Points. You knew there was no way the Suns were coming back from that. I had not even the slightest bit of doubt that the Bucks were winning that game.
And when the season starts next year, Giannis is top dog. He's the hunted.
Yeah, we'll see how he reacts to that. I think he's going to react like really well.
He literally went 17
got the
to
monkey off his back.
19.
Yeah.
17 to 19 from the free throw line.
Yeah, we need to touch on that. And I think he missed that last one on purpose to stay at 50.
Yeah, probably.
I do, actually, because he just looked like he short-armed it, or he was just trying to get the clock to run out.
Probably.
But either way, for him to step up when he shot 62% the rest of the series and knocked down, at one point he was like 15 of 16, is incredible. Like, that can't go understated. And
I got something for you.
teams like the Sixers, the Lakers, those are teams that need to look at that, because if Giannis has a 62% field goal percentage last night, I don't think the Bucks win that game.
Specifically when you said Sixers. Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to that,
Yeah.
okay?
Mike
'Cause
Simmons over here.
We got to still...
I forgot Mike Simmons.
Of course.
I forgot. Damn it.
Nobody's been more tough on Ben Simmons
Yeah.
than me overall over this whole run, okay? I stopped myself from saying something that was like Paul's fan material, by the way.
All right, awesome. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's
He's
why,
learning.
Yeah.
that's why I had the little
The
brief
3
pause
other
right
men
there.
in this room appreciate that.
But
Yo,
honestly, like, if you weren't inspired by like what you saw from Giannis and just like him winning, then like I have no words for you. Honestly, I was inspired, and I don't even play basketball.
10 years ago, he was selling DVDs and gold watches in Greece to help his family make money. And
how long has he been in the league? Like 7 years, 8 years? Not even.
He was drafted in 2013.
So 8 years, right?
8 years.
I mean, look at the way, like, just the body changed too. Like, he's
I
just
know.
a
I saw
dominating
that photo.
Physical presence, dominating.
Yeah, it was bully ball.
I mean,
He was outstanding.
Shannon Sharp put it perfectly today. He's not the best player in the NBA, but he's the most dominant. Very similar to Shaq in terms of just like imposing his will dominant. That's exactly what he did last
offense
night.
and defense.
Yeah,
yeah.
like, that's what
physically,
he did last
whenever
night.
he wants to take over, he can.
Yeah.
Physically. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
good
like, the
luck
moral of
trying to
this-
stop him under the hoop.
The moral of the story is like sometimes you got to fail in order to win. You know what I'm saying? He's failed several times, and then the fact that like he was able to get over the hump, like that's inspiring to me.
Yo, not for nothing. Like, is anyone remembering that it looked like he had a season-ending injury?
I
like
know. It's
3
crazy.
weeks ago.
He was doubtful for game
okay.
one.
He looked like he snapped his ACL, LCL, everything in that damn knee. It looked like it snapped.
It looks like game one, he was testing it. Game two, he was getting his legs under him. And game three, he's like, okay, we're good to go.
Like
Let's go.
this is a heroic effort for that alone.
Yeah.
No one is even talking about the injury.
Unless he pulled a Paul Pierce.
No way.
That is still the craziest thing ever. Left on a
shit
stretcher
himself?
because he had to take a shit. Yeah, he shit himself. I'm
It's
sorry.
just so crazy because everybody shitted on him for signing with Milwaukee. That the 5-year deal. Like, oh man, he's never gonna win again. Like he's never gonna win. So it's like the fact that he won with that team is just awesome, man.
And it's
like,
not the best big three in the league. It's
Hell
maybe not
no.
even the
It's
best.
not a super team.
No, it's not.
It's a normal, regular, good team.
so salute.
You guys see that video? It was like, it might have been Twitter or whatever. This is the best. It was Giannis. Like, remember that one time where he like launched a pass and hit James Harden in the face?
Yeah.
He's like, Giannis doesn't believe in super teams, and he threw the O'Brien trophy in
Yep.
James Harden's face. It was
love
great.
it.
It was
Love it.
great. I wish I could share that on here. But I did want to share something about the free throws that I read, and I don't know if you guys heard this, so I'm going to read it to you. Okay? Giannis shot 17 and 19, which I just said, right? But apparently, he practices free throws by making his coaches and his girlfriend, while carrying their baby, run every time he missed a free throw. Quote, seeing people pay for his mistakes was torture for him. And the man learned how to shoot free throws.
Wow,
That's-
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know
This
that.
is what I
That's
read, and
wild.
this is no joke.
That's great
this
information.
This is a verified source right here. I'm not going to say who. There's a full story on it though.
That's
No,
good
that's
information.
called-
I didn't
wanna
even know
fail
that.
That's
his
called
people.
pushing yourself to be better.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't want to fail himself or his people
Yep. Getting uncomfortable.
or his team.
Working on everything that you're uncomfortable with in practice, honing in on it, and making yourself better so that you are not a liability at the end of games for your team.
I mean, is it time to touch on Ben Simmons then? Because there's no better time, I think. Like, we're going to obviously keep talking about the finals, but, like, the slant here, I would say, like, if you're Ben Simmons, right, guys? If you're Ben Simmons
Yep.
and you're watching this series, which I don't know if he did. Like, he looked like he was celebrating his birthday and shit. So I don't know if he was watching the series. But if you're Ben Simmons, there is no better player to model yourself after right now, especially given the fact that he doesn't want to shoot. So, okay, if you don't want to shoot, which would be great, like he should be shooting mid-range, and it looks like he can, but he just doesn't do it, okay? If you're Ben Simmons, model yourself after Giannis. You're
I agree.
physically dominating, right?
Yep.
I mean, Giannis is definitely more physical and has better touch under the rim.
Get aggressive
But Ben is probably more skilled.
around the hoop.
Given the fact that he has a handle alone, Ben has the better skill of the two.
Ben Simmons should
I don't
look.
know.
I mean,
I don't know.
Giannis
Giannis
isn't
is pretty skilled.
Yeah, but he's not necessarily a skilled guy. He's just a physically dominant force. There's a difference between the two. That's what I'm trying to explain to you right now.
Ben
He
Simmons
doesn't
can,
necessarily have skill. You know what I mean? Like he just takes over games. Like we said, like good luck stopping him. He's dunking on you. He's fucking like running past you.
If I was Ben
he's a
Simmons
a
and I'm
force.
looking at
But
Giannis,
that's skill in itself.
I mean, sure, but like just
I got
without
you.
taking it so literally.
I
Ben
got you,
Simmons
yeah.
has more tools in the shed. Like they're the same two players otherwise. Ben Simmons is
somebody stole his
Giannis,
tools.
yeah. Giannis like the Giannis mentality, that's what Ben needs to have. The Giannis mentality of going at it every single play, giving it your all every single play, and just being aggressive. That's all he has to do.
2 issues.
That's it.
Well, 1 issue. Ben is too cool to do that, number 1. Number 2, if I'm Ben Simmons, I'm staring at Giannis and saying, that's what I can be if I get in the gym and don't practice shit that I'm already good at.
Right, because it looks like he actually does practice,
If you practice
but
something,
practice what you're weak at.
If you practice something for 3 months in the offseason of the summer, every single day the way you portray you do on Instagram, you at least marginally increase. He's marginally decreasing. So all that shows me is that he's in the gym not doing what he's only doing it on Instagram. He's not in the gym uncomfortable with people making him uncomfortable, putting himself out there, not trying to look cool, going in there looking like a fool, whatever, taking jump shots that you're not comfortable with, even though it's weird because when he shows the videos, he does look comfortable doing it. But he just doesn't look like he's working the way Giannis is. He's just not. And the proof is you couldn't be on the floor in the playoffs.
I mean, that was my instant takeaway, because obviously you're seeing the Sixers fans panicking like, oh my God, like this was our shot, like the Bucks fucking won.
The Bucks
this was our
trashed
chance.
us.
Like
it would have been the same outcome.
We would have been winning it in 6
We would have
here.
lost to the Bucks. It would have been the same thing.
I don't even want to think about it because honestly, they didn't deserve to be there. So I didn't even give that the time of day. But I was just like, if you want something to take away here, that's the obvious no-brainer. Is Ben Simmons just follow Giannis's footsteps?
Oh,
because he could literally, if he put it all together, he'd be better. He has more tools in the shed.
Embiid didn't wish him a happy birthday yesterday.
I saw that.
But he wished Ruben Frank a happy birthday.
I noticed
or
that.
Not Ruben Frank. It was
not Ruben Frank.
The Sixers guy.
I can't think of his name.
Michael Rubin.
Yeah, Michael Rubin.
Ruben Frank. He wished him a happy birthday on Instagram.
Yeah, I noticed that too. That was very weird.
I was actually looking for it because Ben kept posting every single person.
And I'm trying to find out.
Like, okay.
I'm trying to look for a source to
Milton.
see if they've spoken since they got eliminated.
Weren't they living together though? At one point during
they
the
were,
season?
because they were spending time together to get more acquainted.
Yeah,
and they
that's
were on
cool.
good terms. I just think that.
But I think that
Embiid feels like he was failed by him because he wouldn't work on the things that he was weak at.
Especially when Embiid's out there playing on a torn meniscus. Come on, man.
I agree.
That's the definition of giving it your all. And I'm sorry. I mean, Ben Simmons was just lost. And we're not trying to make this a Ben Simmons conversation. That wasn't my intention, but I just kept thinking of the parallels. It's like, this could be you, bro.
The comparison.
Like, you don't want it?
Yeah.
You would be revered like Giannis right now.
Want it.
Like, you could be like everyone. Giannis is everyone's hero right now. This could be you. Like, you don't like. How do you not desire that? That is exactly what you should want right now.
Yeah, but fuck him. Let's move on.
Yeah,
fine, fair enough.
I'll be honest with you.
I'm getting sick to my stomach.
Let's go back to DeAndre Ayton. I'm really happy the Suns lost because I think his market's going to crash. So I'm definitely going to be scooping up some PSA 10s in the offseason. So I think he's a buy. I think the hype, for next season is going to be outrageous.
Were there any other value plays that you happen to notice or research from this series, the two teams here? Like, were there any other players that you deem investable, like keep an eye on them right now? And if not, that's okay. Like, this is a total question out of left field, but this is how we want our people to think too.
Probably CP3 because his market's going to crash. So if he gets traded to the Lakers, I can see that thing going crazy high with him and LeBron.
What about Cam Johnson?
And AD. Cam Johnson he played lights out. I like that kid Cameron Payne.
Yeah,
but I don't see that being a smart investment. But I see DeAndre Ayton is some guy that I'm really looking at. And
what about like a Mikal Bridges or even Bobby Portis, who's like he's like a meme kind of guy, you know what I mean?
Is,
like
bro.
The meme guys, they shoot up in value, don't they? Like,
I'm not investing in Bobby Portis, but like DeAndre Ayton is somebody that stuck out to me. I know he had a shitty game last night, but for me, it's like his market's going to crash because of that, right? But if I see him, long-term potential on him or short-term, I'm going to jump on that. So in the offseason, I'm scooping him up.
Yeah.
So how about this, guys? You want to talk legacies right now? Because I think that's the next thing. We're sitting here talking about Giannis and CP3. Let's start with Giannis. That's the obvious one. Legacy, I mean, it's sealed, right? He's going to go down as one of the greatest ever when
I think
he's done.
Already catapulted himself into that discussion of talking about great players. Like, I don't think he's a top 5 or a top 10, But I'm just saying, he's going to start to get into that discussion. Number one, the monkey's off his back. So that pressure of winning a championship is gone.
That's major.
Let me give you guys something right here. This caught my eye. Giannis joins Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon as the only players in NBA history to win a regular season MVP, a Finals MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year award.
Which is bullshit because LeBron should have that.
I mean, didn't he have 2 though, Giannis?
What?
2 Defensive Player of the Year.
No, 2 MVPs.
Back-to-back
I'm
MVPs.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm saying LeBron
still.
should have a Defensive Player of the Year. Over Marc Gasol and
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Cry me a river over there.
Probably. Ben Simmons should have had one too. But that's besides the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Giannis, I mean, that's an unbelievable stat right there.
He's already in elite company.
Because you're looking at, like, that's one of the, like, if not the top 3 centers, he's, like, right up there. And Hakeem the Dream. And then Michael Jordan the GOAT. You heard me.
In the super team era, it's not going to work. See you tomorrow.
I almost got him triggered. I was trying.
In the super team era, this championship for Giannis is going to really, really, really stand out. The same way LeBron's Cleveland ring stands out.
I agree with that, Mike. That's a great take.
Yeah.
That's a great take.
I agree with that.
The ring stands out, and it was earned. It wasn't given. He didn't jump. He didn't run from the grind. I just like I said, man, I mean, I think he really catapulted himself and his legacy and everything you talk about with greats in the game. Like, he is now a historic player.
Guys, he's only 26 and he already has a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Insane to me. He's I'm older than him.
I know.
Okay, he's already in the Hall of Fame pretty much.
Yeah, we're old as shit.
Without a doubt.
We're old as shit.
Oh, come
Like,
on.
I know. He's a Hall of Famer without a doubt.
I'm
Right now,
joining
he
the
is.
30s club in 2 weeks.
He joined
We're
the
old as shit.
Last night he joined the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah. Unquestionably. Like, he's going to go down as one of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
That's what
Kendrick
that's what
Perkins said
happened
it
last
today.
night. One
Second
of the
best power
greatest.
forward ever behind Tim Duncan. That's what he can get to.
So if he lost the finals, but he was putting up 35 points a game, 13 rebounds, he played outstanding in the finals and he lost, I still think he would be in the Hall of Fame. Back-to-back MVPs, playing lights out in the finals.
Yeah. But I'm saying last night.
Oh, yeah. It cemented his legacy
You put
last
up
night.
50 and 13 in a closeout Game 6 at home.
In 20 years, we're going to be watching out on the NBA Classics.
100%. That's a hardwood classic.
I mean, that's the difference between him and Chris Paul in this series. I feel like he just grabbed the bull by the horns. And Chris Paul, like, he had issues in moments that mattered.
And
Turnovers and
a lot of
just
turnovers.
missing shots. I
actually
mean, dribbling the ball away. I've never seen that from him in my life.
that pressure. However, I actually don't think the loss really affects Chris Paul the way some people do. Or some people will say.
I will say this, just going
Dan
back
Marino.
to my own quotes. My own
Funny you
quote
said that.
was, if he wins, I'm likely to catapult him in my top 5 off of that. If he doesn't, I'm not so sure I'm ready for it. And guess what? I'm not ready for it.
I still am. I'm still with that.
I feel bad for him in some ways. Like, he's going to probably get there, but I feel bad, but I don't at the same time. I actually was like, like all those people saying, like, sorry, Chris Paul. Like, no, you know what? You should be saying, like, congrats, Giannis. That's what you should be doing.
Do you think he goes back to Phoenix?
Yes. I think Monty Williams is an outstanding coach, and I loved what he did in the Bucks locker room, congratulating them and then saying, like, you made us a better team and me
So
a
you
better
think he
coach.
goes back to the Suns for that?
I think he does. I think they have a really tight relationship, and I think, they have a chance to go back.
So let me ask you a question. Next year, if I were to say, I heard this morning on First Things First, are the Suns more likely to get eliminated in round 1 or make the championship again? What would you say? I'm saying eliminated in round 1.
Eliminated in round 1.
I agree. I mean, they missed their opportunity. This is a wide open NBA Finals, and this is why it doesn't sit well with Sixers fans.
And the thing
this was their chance.
I agree.
I said this to you last night, bro. The Suns, they did play an injured squad every single round until they got to the finals. AD was out, Jamal Murray was out, and then Kawhi tore his ACL. So they were never playing a team of full strength. And the Bucks didn't have DiVincenzo. Not that he's a big superstar.
But also, Mike, I think that they were hot entering the finals, and they cooled off. That's kind of how it was. And the Bucks actually got hot.
They peaked.
That's kind of how it went.
They peaked in the second round. That was when they were legitimately like playing the best basketball.
And also, the Bucks defense just shook them up, I think. As soon as they
Drew Holiday locked up Chris Paul, dude. And then PJ Tucker bothered Devin Booker.
I mean, yeah.
Like I said on episode 2, he was bothering him because he's able to bother KD. he can bother Devin Booker. And that is literally what I said.
It was what you said. Devin Booker and Chris Paul were not clutch at all. They were missing. They were
Devin
missing
Booker had an awesome game 3 or 4. One of them he dropped 40. But
I love D-Book.
Well, you know what?
He'll
probably come back better from this because he saw some defense that he hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
And Chris Paul even. I mean, Chris Paul is unguardable. Basically, just a plethora of moves.
Yeah.
He's literally unguardable, and he does everything so well. This is the first time I feel like I've seen him so uncomfortable ever.
Yeah, I mean,
really,
he was making
he
really
didn't look
uncharacteristic turnovers.
He did it last night. He lost like a dribble.
I'm like, dude, you've been in the league for 16 years. There's no way you should be making these
He's
mistakes.
never been on that stage,
and it was happening
but you're a
all the
professional.
time.
It happens.
16-year
Pressure's
professional.
real, dude.
I know, I get it.
But he's only been to the Western Conference Finals one time.
Yeah, but how is
twice
Giannis
at the
more
last
comfortable than CP3? Like, to me, it's like, it's
That's
all
true. That's
mental,
a good
man. It's
point.
all mental, honestly.
And by the way, back to your question, Mike. I mean, I can't instantly say he's going back to the Suns. I know Nick Suns.
We're going to get to a segment later
yeah.
where we're going to be able to dive a little bit more into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
We're
about.
going to put that on pause, but
Yeah.
wink, wink. I mean,
Yeah.
LeBron's his best friend.
Yeah,
That's
so
your boy,
we're
Mike.
gonna
You
talk
know,
about that.
LeBron thinking, right?
Yeah. So we'll talk about that.
We're going to put that on pause. All right. I mean, other than that, like, I feel like I just have to point out again, like, Drew Holiday. This was a pre-processed Sixer. He was an all-star. The guy looked like a child when he was on our team. This is 8 years ago. We traded him for Nerlens Noel and cap relief, essentially. I mean, I was one of those Drew Holiday guys. I love the process. I'm a hinky guy. I just have to throw it out there, though, because they didn't really recoup anything from that trade.
So here's the thing. The issue with that was they missed on Nerlens Noel. And that's
Big
okay.
miss.
It's okay.
I didn't like that pick, personally.
No, because he couldn't do anything besides play defense. He was just long and lanky.
Right.
However, he was built like Scafidi. Shout out, Ant. Love you. But my thing is, at the time, it was the right move. But the Sixers have like an uncanny ability of trying to make B-level players an A, and it doesn't work. They did it with Drew Holiday. He can't carry a team. But go put him in a role on the Bucks and on the Pelicans, and he is fantastic.
They did it with Andre Iguodala.
I was just getting ready to say that. They did it to Iguodala. He got him to the first round of the playoffs against the Bulls. He goes to Golden State, plays his role, finals
MVP is crazy.
He goes to the Heat. He's in the finals again. So you can't make B-level players an A. It doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. Like, so it's tough to say that. It's 2013 and now it's 2021, so I don't want to go like that. But at the time, what the plan was, it worked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I would go back and take back what happened. I was just pointing out that there were a lot of people who were just realizing this in the past 24 hours. They're like, Drew Holiday was legitimately traded for Nerlens Noel and cap relief, and they're freaking out. But also, like, I'm one of those guys that was on record where I wanted us to trade for him before the Bucks got him. I thought he was a perfect compliment for our roster.
He would have been great coming back.
And it fits the defensive mold, too. I mean, you know, it's just crazy. I always admired Drew Holiday, though. I really liked him on the Sixers. Also wanted to point out for all those salty-ass Sixers fans that we took Michael Carter-Williams over Giannis.
Oh, my God.
I read that today.
Let that sink in.
I just laughed.
Yeah.
Let that sink
That's going
in.
to sting forever.
He won Rookie of the Year, and I'll never forget his first bucket as a Sixer. He stole the ball and ran full court and slammed it, and everybody was ready. I know I was. I loved him. And then he was...
I never got on that train. I'm sorry.
Right on schedule with Nerlens Noel and Jahlil Okafor and
The list goes on.
countless others.
Yeah, exactly.
And we would have missed on Embiid, and he fell in our lap because we would have had Jabari Parker or Andrew Wiggins. Jabari Parker blows. Andrew Wiggins he gives you 18 points, but he's not impactful.
So I got a question for you guys.
Sure.
If Chris Paul does go back to the Suns, right?
Yeah.
Hypothetically speaking,
Yep.
who has the better chance here? Bucks repeat or the Suns go back to the finals?
One more time.
Crickets, huh?
Bucks repeat.
Bucks repeat?
Yeah.
I need that question one more time.
CP3's back with the Suns. We're just saying, hypothetically speaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who has a better chance? The Bucks repeating or the Suns going back to the finals?
Bucks.
That's interesting.
I'm not thinking twice. I mean,
Bucks.
They had a recipe there.
Even in the same conference as the Brooklyn Nets with KD.
Here's my
that three-headed
because
monster.
hypothetically, if they beat them, like that's the hardest hurdle they have to face. In my opinion, they already proved that they could beat the Suns. If it was a rematch, let's say, I mean, I don't see how you can't take the Bucks.
And teams are going to make moves, and the West, and we're assuming everyone's healthy.
Yeah.
The West is going to be big time next year. I mean, the Lakers aren't, like I said, the Lakers were probably the 3rd seed if AD and LeBron don't go down. That is a given. They were the 2nd or 3rd seed. They just got hurt. So if they're the 4 seed, just call it the Suns, the Mavericks, the Jazz, I mean, they kind of flail out every year, but the West is tough. Right? They really are, and I don't see the Suns getting back. That's why I said, like, I would put money on they were a first round exit over getting back to the finals.
I mean, let's put this on paper right now. Actually, do you guys think the Bucks will repeat?
I do not.
Yes or no?
No.
Neither do I.
No.
Do you guys think the Suns are getting back to the championship next year?
No.
So, in that circumstance, how do you upgrade either roster? And I mean,
well, me personally, like, I think the Suns might have a better chance because I think DeAndre Ayton's going to take another big step next year.
So you think that they just get better?
I think he's
through growth.
Yeah, and then they're going to be together again for another year, so they're going to have like camaraderie. So I think they would have a better chance than the Bucks repeating, in my opinion. Even though the West is loaded, but they're still a good team. They only lost 21 games in the regular season.
But I think though with the Bucks, like I said about getting the monkey off their back and things like that, the same way I said I feel like the Clippers found out a lot about themselves in that Mavericks series, and I think it was the best thing that could have happened to that group. I think the same thing applies to the Bucks right now. All that adversity. They were down 2-0 to Brooklyn. They won Game 3. They were leading by 20 in Game 4 before Kyrie got hurt. So it's not like, like when Kyrie was out there, they were trashing the Bucks in Game 4. They were not. That's false.
And not for nothing, dude. Like the Nets were an inch away from beating the Bucks.
Yeah.
If KD's
toes
weren't on the line,
and
it was over.
True.
And I got news for you.
We're gonna have a different discussion right now if it wasn't for that.
The Suns would have beaten the Nets in the finals without Kyrie. The Suns would have beaten the Nets. They were deeper, and they didn't have anybody to fuck with Ayton.
I agree with that because Harden was not Harden.
Well,
I gained respect for him.
No, respect.
He was
all
out there.
Day,
He had 22 in that closeout game in Game 7.
But he was like terrible.
Dude, I've never seen. He actually couldn't walk.
He couldn't even shoot. It was bad.
I know. It was. I mean, salute to him for going out there and giving it his all.
Oh yeah,
I like
don't
that.
knock that.
But I think the Suns actually would have. I think the Suns would have beaten the Nets.
The Nets have nothing behind those three. So if you're missing one, it's
And like I said, the only reason I can't go all in on the Nets, even next year, I think the Nets are going to be great next year. I do. The reason I can't go all in on them winning, dude, Kyrie Irving is not Kyrie Irving of Cleveland. He's not focused on basketball. Dude.
Yeah.
He's erratic. You never know what you're getting with him. Like somebody said, like, oh, would you trade Ben Simmons straight up for Kyrie? And like on the surface, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, give me Kyrie Irving.
But you had to think about it,
But
right?
then, like, I'm thinking, and I'm like, I don't know if I want that headache because
and you
I don't
count
know.
on him.
I don't
at least
know.
Ben's gonna play.
Yeah, like I don't know if I can what Kyrie I'm getting. So like, there's a part of me that's like, no, I actually wouldn't do that trade just because of his behavior.
I'm surprised to hear that from you, but I don't blame you.
But
for feeling
that's
way.
a sensible thought though, because it's like 1 minute he's being an activist, the next minute he's eliminating bad energy with smoke.
Sometimes availability is the best ability.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
just
like
a fact.
And like I said, Kyrie Irving's an awesome player, and Kyrie Irving, if he was Kyrie Irving of Cleveland with Embiid, would be serious.
I do not want Kyrie Irving on the Sixers. The dude thinks the earth is flat. Okay? So I don't want him at all.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. He's just too erratic
What
for
a
me.
dunce.
That's
Let's call a spade here.
That's exactly why I can't fully get behind the Nets. I really
Love
can't.
that word.
I can't.
It's not nearly used enough.
Guys, let's stick with basketball. Did you guys see the 1986 Michael Jordan PSA rookie go for $840K?
Oh, you mean the GOAT's rookie?
The GOAT's rookie, yeah.
Second
absolutely.
best ever. I know. Yeah.
And I was like,
The
whoa.
GOAT, Mike?
840K, like it was a record high. And then so what I did was I looked at the most recent one, PSA 10. And on April 29th, that sold for 415K. So I'm like, why did it 2x, right? So then I dived into it and I started reading, and I just learned this myself. Like, I'm learning as I go too, but like,
I'm excited to hear this. I've
right?
been waiting for it.
And I mean, look, I know like all PSA 10s are not created equal, right? Like, I have 10s in my stash that like are the same card, but if I look at one versus the other, I could see one's more centered than the other, right? So they're not all created equal. So I knew that. But on that card, it had a 5% sticker, which means the 5% it was the top 5% of vintage cards in terms of overall condition, even in a 10, right? So I'm talking coloring, centering, surface, edges,
So like
corners.
actually perfect.
It was perfect, right? Like legit perfect, almost.
Like MJ's game.
So top 5%, right? Yeah. So I'm
Are we
like,
really doing this all night? Please.
oh yeah, I want all the smoke.
I'm getting them stupid.
So I'm like, okay, so like, but it makes sense, right? So you're buying a piece of art, right? So if would you rather have like one painting that that's the same as the other, but one's a little fucked up than the other one? Like the surfaces are like this surface is scratched, this one's not. But they're both 10s.
True collectors.
I want the 10 that's not scratched, even though this one says 10. So for me, it's like I understand why it went for 2x. Now on PWCC's website, this is what that was the auction that it sold for. And on their website, this is their quote on their website. Not all cards within the same grade are created equal, right? Cards in the top 30% of the eye appeal scale statistically garner superior market prices up to 200% of the market average for cards at the top of the range. PWCC has the data to prove it. So like I said, that if I have two 10s, one centered more than the other one, I'm obviously going to take the one that's more centered. It's a piece of art. You're going to pay a premium for that one because it's the eye appeal.
Yep.
So you're paying for art. And I thought that was really interesting. And I can't believe that like it really like 2x'd. Like it went up 200% since April 29th. But the condition on the April 29th one is not, the same condition.
Now, was there a noticeable difference between those two?
I didn't see the back-to-back one. The one I was talking about on April 29th sold on eBay. So.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So like I found that really interesting. So because I was like, whoa, 840K. I've never seen that before. And I'm like, why did it sell for that much? But it's because it had the 5% stickers. So it gives collectors an idea. Okay, like this is one of the best conditioning cards that you can see. And I thought that was super interesting, and that was really cool. So
let me ask you though. I got a follow-up question for you. Okay. So, where do you think this card could rise in the future, and what do you think it means for like other GOATS cards? Okay.
To be honest with you, this is $1 million card. If I had 400,000, I would still buy the one that's not as centered because I still think that's going to be $1 million card one day. And I think Tom Brady's going to be $1 million card one day. I think LeBron James is going to be $1 million card one day.
Just going to ask you that.
It's in due time. It's going to happen, right? I mean, but it's no brainer for me. They're $1 million pieces. They're art.
That's crazy, dude.
Just saying, they don't make them anymore.
$1 million for a card.
Yes, 100%. I mean, it's almost there. I mean, 840K.
It is there.
Yeah, it's
what are we doing wrong in our lives right now?
A lot.
This is why we have Nick, though.
Yeah,
I know.
So I find it really interesting, man. It was just.
I want you to find $1 million card for us. Like, come on, bro. Like,
I almost had one.
let's not go there.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in another episode because it was a really good story.
Me and Nick made a really, really bad mistake.
Yeah, let's just call a spade a spade. We fucked up. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad mistake.
I'm gonna need to hear this off the record, okay?
Yeah, no, we like badly fucked up.
Yeah.
You can't even imagine the story.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that
for later. Save that for later.
Yeah.
But didn't you just tell us about a LeBron card? Like something it might have been a Topps.
Yeah, LeBron's 2003 Topps Chrome PSA 10. That's going for about 18.2K right now. It's up about. It's in the last 30 days. It's up about 25%, I think, which is crazy, but it's due to Space Jam, right? Space Jam hype and everything. So it definitely helps LeBron's case and his cards. And I see LeBron being $1 million card.
His after basketball life is going to be unbelievable.
His impact.
Yeah.
He's
a culture. He is a global icon.
Right.
And he gave players confidence and people confidence to speak their mind, change teams. he is the ambassador of fuck the way everything used to be done. I'm taking control of my life. And that really is the truth. And that's going to stick with him forever.
Bro, there's legitimately like very few athletes that have that like eternal flame where they
Muhammad Ali
never grow old. It doesn't matter the time period. They will forever they'll be known by everybody in every generation.
Yeah. Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, LeBron James,
Gretzky.
Tom Brady, Wayne Gretzky. Like Wayne Gretzky has records that like literally can't be broken.
Legitimately.
And like Wilt Chamberlain, records
But
that
this
just
is why I'm saying to you,
beat.
like, as much as I am an MJ the GOAT guy, LeBron is a GOAT in his own right. Like he's going to be on that even Mount Rushmore, if you want to call it that. Like he's just one of those guys. He's going to be the eternal flame forever.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's how he is.
If I had 18, 19K, I'm buying one. 100%. I think that card is going to
Yeah, if you could just blow
go
that money,
bananas.
if you have money like that and you can just afford to buy that and put it in a safe and let it sit for 10, 15 years, 20 years.
And
I mean,
honestly, it would be the perfect time right now. Like, I feel like because, like, LeBron's at the tail end of his career, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as he announces he's retiring, that card is going to, like, 4X.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you know what else, though? I think he's one of those guys, like, almost in a Tom Brady sense, where as we get closer to the end / when it is over, he will be appreciated much more.
Who?
LeBron.
Oh, I thought
the
you said Tom
person.
Brady. I'm sorry.
Oh, I already love Tom Brady as it is now.
Yeah.
But like the way LeBron is as a person, charitable, just he's a family man. He's been with the same woman for since high school?
Yeah.
I mean, he's like an admirable person.
He's a good person.
Yeah.
So
Built a
I
school
really
for
do.
kids.
Yeah, I mean, the I Promise School is one of the best stories you ever hear. I just think that, and I think obviously he's going to appear in some more movies and
Yeah. He just needs to not be as stiff.
and we're going to touch on that.
Yeah.
But like, I just think that he's a very likable guy. He had a couple of mistakes, like speaking about China and political comments that might have been like, misinterpreted or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I think that like in 20 years down the line, that's not even going to matter.
exactly.
Those comments are going to be blown over.
what
It's
I'm
not
trying
going
to
to
get
it's not
at.
going to be relevant, you know?
it's
It's
not.
just going to be
Because a lot of people just love to hate on him. I think, you know what? Let's talk about Space Jam.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Spoiler
Welcome
alert
to the
though.
Space Jam.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Spoiler alert on us, man.
Let's talk about it.
So
Let's talk about
Let's
it.
talk about it.
So
Let's talk about it. So everybody here watched it, correct?
yeah.
Yes.
I watched it the morning it came out. I woke up early before work, and I've watched it already 4 times total.
Holy
4.
shit.
4 times.
You really do love that man.
And I love Space Jam.
I love LeBron too. Like I have to remind you that even though I'm busting your balls over
Yeah.
here about MJ versus LeBron, I really do love LeBron.
Yeah, of course, dude.
I have
It's just-
both their jerseys.
I'm
so-
warming up to him.
Yeah.
I don't love
So with Space Jam, when the critics came out, I was sitting on the couch and I read it. I was with Allison, and I'm like, yo, Space Jam got trashed in the premiere. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And I was reading the reviews, and they're saying like borderline unwatchable and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, what? I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, it's got to be just hate. So long story short, I wake up, I watch it, and I actually like genuinely love the movie. But to me, you had to watch that movie with an open mind that you can't compare it to the first one. The first one is a legitimate classic movie of all time.
And everyone even told you that, and they
Yeah.
still seem like they're
And
doing that.
LeBron said this movie has nothing to do with the first.
Zero.
They didn't. Yeah. So it was even a totally different plot. Totally different. So the thing is that for me, I thought it was a great movie. I thought it had a lot of great messages. I thought they overdid it a little bit with the branding for LeBron, but I can't fault him for that because he's growing his brand. So I get it.
Expand on that.
Calling him king, his label on everything. On the shot clock, it had LeBron followers. Like Lola, calling him king. Like Lola said, "Come on, king." And
Wasn't
then
that his logo on the ball too?
with his son,
Right?
Yeah, at
Wasn't
the
it?
end on his son Dom. So there were just some things like I laughed at, and I'm just like, all right, whatever, man, that's cool. I thought the Michael Jordan part to me I thought was brilliant.
That was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Like
I was laughing my ass off.
So here's the funniest thing.
I was not
When I
expecting
saw
it.
the shoes, I started laughing. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. They really put him in there. He's going to give a halftime speech. This is great. And then I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, now they're going to say, oh, LeBron needed a halftime speech to beat the Goon Squad.
Is it weird that I actually thought it was going to be Michael B. Jordan?
So did-
I just
no.
I thought it was
Okay.
going to be him.
So as soon as I saw Michael B. Jordan, I started cracking up. I'm like, that is awesome. Like, so ingenious. It was great. I thought it was awesome because they said like Michael Jordan makes an appearance, but not in the way you suspect, and that was perfect. And so I thought that was a troll also to people. But I thought the overall movie was fantastic from a creative standpoint, a family standpoint, and I think the message behind it of listen to your fucking kids was amazing. When the part of him and his son on the court, when they had their moment and he was talking to him like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right and things like that. Like as a dad now, it made a tear run down my face because like I felt that because it's like, you know, man, like some parents don't and they force their kids to do things. How many movies have you seen where you've seen the dad forcing something on their son? And it's like, you know, like people say like, oh, what if your son likes soccer? Because I'm like, I'm not a soccer fan. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to have to learn to like soccer and I'm going to go cheer him on.
Yeah.
So like, listen to your kids. Like I thought it was great because he's a family man, and like I said, as a parent now, man, like that was really touching. And I just like I don't understand how somebody watches that movie and puts out those reviews so badly on it. Like I said, I mean, just everything. Like when Al G steals his phone, and that's how you get the people to the game because he stole the passcode. And I think like it showed humility on LeBron's part because he poked fun of himself, like when he said, "I'm Robin." Then when they were making fun of him about leaving Cleveland, Miami, Cleveland, and then, oh, well, now he's on the Lakers. What do you think he's going to do? So I just think overall, I thought it was a really well put together movie. Now, was LeBron the best actor? No, but that was his first movie taking on a lead role. That isn't easy. Like, he was a little stiff. I mean, there were some parts where he did well.
Yeah.
But there was also some parts where I'm laughing
exposed,
too.
You know? He got exposed.
But there you go, making yourself vulnerable.
Yeah, I'll be honest.
That was my final take. I thought the movie was great, and I think everybody should go see it and apply it to your life if you have kids.
Yeah, no, I agree. I loved the movie. I thought it was very creative. I don't understand the hate, to be honest with you. Like you said, you got to, watch it with an open mind, right? So I just like it because I think it was geared towards kids, and LeBron's always been that way. I mean, he built a school for kids. He's a family-oriented guy, and that's what the movie was about pretty much. It was family, it was kids, it was about happiness, like you said. I really enjoyed the message in that whole movie, and I found a couple nuggets in there. Did you guys notice when he dropped down to the Looney Tunes universe that as soon as he hit the ground, the indent was a Nike symbol?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That was creative as shit. And then the debris that came up was like it formed a net and a ball going through. I thought that was super cool. And did you guys notice that when they were playing video games in the algorithm thing or the digital world, they had monitors, which I thought was fucking weird because like you're in a digital world. Why the fuck you have monitors? You could watch it, like you could play on a fucking massive screen. Right?
Yeah, that's
like,
I didn't think of that.
Like, I thought that was really
that
weird. I thought that was really weird. And here's another funny part that I really fucking enjoyed because it really tied into like LeBron's career, right? Al G said, well, if it isn't the old Looney Tunes just looking as washed up as ever, which I took that as the Wash King.
Wash King.
Yes. I thought that was brilliant. I thought
that's awesome.
I thought it was fucking brilliant. And then another thing LeBron said was, everything is going to be all right. I promise. Right? And you know what that is, right?
His wristband, his school.
It's his school.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. It's his school, the I Promise program, right?
Yep.
And at the school. I thought that was awesome. And as a Belichick guy, I appreciated the
there's a lot of subtle
reference.
messages.
Yeah. With Al G, rocking the hoodie with the headset and just acting like Belichick. And I thought it was a brilliant movie. And I found it interesting that LeBron wore number 6.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I feel like he had to do that though because he had to separate himself from 23.
It was really, really weird. And so, but he actually is wearing number 6
this year
this
for the
coming
Lakers.
season. So I'm thinking that's why he wore that. But for me, my perspective on the whole movie was Al G represented the internet, the evilness of the internet, right? Like you said, LeBron's followers being on the scoreboard. To me, that's representing everybody watching and critiquing LeBron as he's losing in that game, right? And then obviously it changed and stuff like that. But Al G was an evil person in the movie, the villain, and I think he represented the internet today, like Twitter and all that stuff. So I found that like really interesting because it was modern, it was current, and yeah, I just loved it. I thought it was really good, and I really want to watch it again.
And you know what, guys? So I approached this differently than you because the original Space Jam, I literally saw it so long ago, I don't remember a damn thing. And I don't even remember if I watched it in full.
I can't believe that.
And
You're the first person I ever heard say that.
I had to have watched it once at least in full as a child, and then I saw bits and pieces here and there throughout the years. So I approached this differently. I told you guys I was going to do this. I said, I'm going to watch the new one first, and then I'm going to watch the old one. And I did that, and, well, first of all, anyone that shits on this movie is just a hater. That's it. I mean, it was good. It was funny. I was laughing the whole time. I was laughing
entertained.
the entire time.
If you have a 6 or 7 year old kid, they love that movie.
It's a no-brainer. I mean, just everything. It was so connected to the now, and also just the references to the past. Like, even they had just plenty of scenes where they were referencing the old movie, even though like it was a completely standalone movie. It had nothing to do with the first one. There were just a handful of things that I saw that were similar. I can't specifically reference it to you because I just haven't seen it enough. But I thought that they were like basically even. It's like it's pretty obvious that the new one had some better features because it's just that much newer.
Well, looking at the graphics from the first one and this
God.
one, it's like night and day.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, and like I had some very small pointers. Otherwise, like I think very, very even. Like I would say that MJ was better at acting than LeBron, and they both weren't great for the record. They played their parts, but like MJ had a little bit of emotion at least. Like LeBron was just kind of like flat, stiff. You know, and it's not even a knock on him because some of the, like I said, like the stuff going on around him was really funny. So it didn't matter so much. That's like nitpicking, you know?
One thing I loved about this one too, LeBron's, I love that he was animated.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought that was awesome that he was animated, dude.
One thing I do hate about it, the movie, I'll be honest with you, was the game in the end. Like, I didn't like the style points. I want to see a basketball game.
So I'm actually with
but
you on that.
I get it because it was a son's video game.
That's
was cool,
the only reason
like,
I kind of gave it a pass because I'm like, okay, I get it, but I wish it was more of a basketball game.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to see 1041 to 1039.
Exactly.
So, but like it's hard
that's
because
like nitpicking
his
again
son-
too. You know, it's like
exactly,
they were trying to be modern with the way that they approached the movie,
the video
like,
game aspect of it.
Yeah,
I mean, the one portion when his family and his older son get into the Toon World, he says it's Dom's game. Do you know how to play it? And LeBron like kind of was like, yeah, I know how to play it. I thought I'm like, damn, like there's another. Like he knew in his head, like he had no idea what his son was doing. You could tell by like the look on his face when he's trying to act that way, that he didn't know how to play the game.
And I also just pointed out to you guys right before the show, like just the voices were different. The Looney Tune cast in the first one and the second one, the voiceovers were different. I thought that the first one were the original guys are obviously going to be better than the new guys. That's just the way it is. But it wasn't so drastic that it ruined the experience for me. Like anyone that's freaking out over this, cry me a fucking river. Like just keep your mouth shut and stop steering people away from this. This is a great movie for everyone to see. Adults and kids alike, honestly. If you're an adult, there were so many ways that you could have enjoyed this movie. Just the NBA references and all that stuff.
I thought it was great
great.
follow-up to a classic movie.
It was really
I agree.
good. And how often can you say that when you're comparing to a classic?
Not
They
often.
did as good as
That's
you possibly
pressure.
could
That's
have done.
hard. Yeah, like that's hard to do.
Yeah, I just think the overall creativity of the movie was awesome. I think
Cheadle
it made
was
it for me.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Don Cheadle was like the missing ingredient from the first one. I mean, I know Danny DeVito did a nice job with the voiceover with the Monstars boss and all, but like,
But he was animated the whole time.
he was animated the whole time, and also Don Cheadle, he's the perfect fit for that role.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his, but he was really good, really good.
Yeah, I give it a full A+, man. I thought it was great. I really do.
I would give it a B plus because I didn't like the game. Like, I don't know. The foul points was corny to me, but like I understood the point.
I'm just going on story alone.
No, the story was fantastic.
Yeah.
Creativity was fantastic.
I ain't even giving it a letter grade. I'm just going to say, go watch this, everyone. Okay? That's it.
Yeah.
Go watch it. And unfortunately, even though I know we love talking about these guys, we're moving on to football. Tom Brady, as always. Okay? Tom Brady played the entire season with a torn MCL.
Goat shit.
Holy shit.
I couldn't tell.
Goat shit.
I couldn't tell.
Hold on. Before we get into that, everybody, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell. And also give us a follow on all our socials, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We would greatly appreciate it.
I'm glad you remember to say that because I never remembered to do that. Ever. Every time you say that, I just laugh to myself.
I say it in my house when I'm like doing the dishes.
Yeah.
A lot of content in this show. A lot of content. But guys,
God,
we're going to approach this in a quicker manner, okay? So bottom line is, like, as if you didn't think Tom Brady could get any better this year, the way we're going to approach this is I'm going to give you his stats from this past season. I'm going to give you the projected stats. I'm going to tell you if he does better than last year. I want you to tell me if he does better or equal or less, okay?
Scream at me.
So on a torn MCL, Tom Brady, he had 4,633 passing yards with 40 touchdowns, 12 picks, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Okay?
I'm not surprised.
So that gives him I mean, he was easily top 10 in fantasy points. I'm not even going to give a fantasy slant here. Okay? And the projections. And you can tell me if this kind of, meets your expectations or if you think he's going over. Same thing. The projections. 4,689 passing yards, so they're projecting an increase. A decrease in touchdowns at 35 and 1 less pick and 1 less rushing touchdown. So, guys, I mean, where do you stand here? Do you think Tom Brady can do better since he's going to have a healthy knee?
I think he's going to hover around the same, but I would say that they're going to go up, just not substantially.
Uppy up.
Yeah, uppy up.
So yardage, does he go up?
I think he's going to be at 5,000 yards this year.
Absolutely. 5,000 passing yards. And he had 40 touchdowns for the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say he's around 40 again.
Uppy up.
Yeah, 40 to 45.
So you guys are both saying increase in stats.
I got 44 TDs.
I don't understand how you say anything. I don't understand how you say less.
Look, he was playing on a torn MCL, first year with a new team, right?
No
in
offseason.
In a COVID season, and now he has an off season. He's healthy. It's a no-brainer.
And
they're loaded.
The whole team is back.
The whole team's back.
And if you don't think AB is going to be better this year than last year,
awesome.
you're sadly mistaken.
Everyone's sleeping on AB.
AB is going to get himself a new contract.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
But listen, so 50 touchdowns?
That's hard. Their
lot.
schedule is going to be one of the hardest in the league, right? I mean, they won a Super Bowl, so I feel like their schedule will be.
Here's the thing. I won't be shocked if he throws for 50 touchdowns. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, my God, he really just did that. I will laugh, but I won't be shocked because they're going to be better.
I will be shocked because, when I watch the 07 Patriots team, he threw 50 touchdowns that year. They were scoring every 3 minutes. It was insane. It was like I was watching a video game.
His offense now, dude, you could argue is better.
Oh.
Hold that thought.
That's a good one.
We should definitely cover that soon.
Yeah.
I'll give you my take, though. I think he's going to be right around the same, and that's not a slight at all.
No. He's
No, he's going to be hovering exactly what he did last year.
He will be right around the same, maybe a slight increase or slight decrease.
He's going to be 44.
It's
I'm at 44.
I couldn't tell.
It's going to be close,
40.
though. I don't expect a moderate increase or a crazy increase just because of the knee. I think that his efficiency might be better.
I agree.
He's going to come out of the gates a little bit better. That doesn't mean it's going to translate into better production. It just means that the team
I think they're going to have a couple blowouts, too. Like similar to Patriot days. There's going to be a couple games that they absolutely dominate
Smoke
teams.
somebody.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we're going to touch on that, okay? I got another quick hitter for you. Another Aaron Rodgers thing, okay? Adam Schefter reports that Aaron Rodgers declined the Packers' extension offer this offseason that would have kept him in Green Bay the next 5 years. It would have made him the highest paid QB and player in the league, and it would have made him the highest paid player ever. So Adam Schefter says it's proof it's not about the money, right? guys, is Adam Schefter correct? Is Aaron Rodgers done in Green Bay? I have to ask you again.
He's not coming back.
This is just a quick hitter.
Dude, he's
quick
done.
hitter.
Dude, he's done. He doesn't fuck with the organization.
He's not coming back.
Done. I think he's done.
I
too.
don't think money matters to him because if the more money they give him, it prohibits them to getting more weapons for him.
And
it doesn't make any sense.
I think now it's a slight because now they're trying to buy him. They're not doing it because it's the right thing to do or he earned it. Now they're trying to buy him back to the organization.
Absolutely. But like I said, it prohibits them to get other players around him. So why would he take the full contract like that? Like, to me, like, you're hurting your chances.
Well, I mean, they did make it to the NFC Championship game last year with that roster.
Yeah.
So,
but if you give him that big of an extension, you're handcuffing yourself to get more players around him.
yeah.
So I mean, point being, look, if you decline that deal, then obviously
He's gone.
your beef exceeds money, and obviously you want out. That's my take.
It's not
did it to
about money.
themselves.
It's not about money. It's about control. He feels like he should have control in the organization.
You drafted Jordan
That's it.
Love, go lay in that bed. We'll see how that works.
There you
for
go.
And I agree with that.
That bed's full of splinters and shit.
Yep. Enjoy.
It ain't gonna be nice.
Yep.
All right. And we're gonna have to move on again. Top 5 QBs of all time.
Oh.
All time.
Wow.
All right.
You want me to go?
This is how we're gonna end the show today, guys.
I mean, my list
Okay?
is pretty
This is how
clear-cut.
we're ending it today.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Awesome.
I mean, we might have mentioned a few of them already. So I want you to start. I'm going to hand it to you, Nick, first. Top 5 all time. You can count them down from 1 to 5, 5 to 1, whatever you want to do. All time best, Nick. All time.
I'll start at 5. I'm torn with 5 because I have 2 players in mind that I really I don't like one, but I love the other, but I think one is better. It's Aaron Rodgers and Steve Young. I grew up watching Steve Young. I loved him. Like, I had his jersey on, running around in the houses, like, as a kid. Just watching him play, he was just phenomenal, man. Just to even in the shadow of Joe Montana, the way he performed was just electric. It's hard to copycat what Montana did with the Niners, but Steve Young was awesome. He followed it up. It's hard to live in the shadow like that. So, but also Aaron Rodgers with Brett Favre too, right? So I kind of compare them too. But the more talented one, I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is 5 for me. 4, I'm going to go with Drew Brees. I think he's wildly underrated and very underappreciated. The way he took New Orleans by storm was just amazing. Everything that happened with Katrina, the way he took over that city, they love him down there. I was in Louisiana earlier this year, and he's the face of that city. And it's hard to argue. His number 1 in almost every statistical category, almost pretty much. He's been fucking phenomenal. And I love Drew Brees' game. I like his character. So I got him at 4. And number 3, I got Joe Montana. It's hard to argue against 4-0 in the Super Bowl.
Joe Cool.
4-0. That's legendary. And I mean, yeah, he had Jerry Rice, but who cares? He maximized his potential with Jerry Rice, so I respect that. Number 2, Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning was better than Joe Montana. I don't care. Nobody commanded an offense like Peyton Manning. He went up to the line of scrimmage and commanded the entire thing. He audibled. He saw the game a different way. He studied film. There was nobody like Peyton Manning in that regard. And number 1, come on, cuz. It's TB12. What are we talking about here? It's a no-brainer. He's a certified number 1 all time. I don't care. I don't care what the fuck you guys got to say out there. He's the best in the game and ever. So
arguable.
That's where I'm at. And yeah.
All right, so number 1, I'm going to go the opposite way. I have Tom Brady number 1, obviously. I don't really think to me, that's not even a fun sports debate anymore because it's over. like Jordan and LeBron, you could argue. Now it's just a matter of arguing for who's second best. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady's number 1.
He ruined everything.
Yeah. Number 2, I also have Peyton Manning. I didn't get to see Joe Montana. So to me, Peyton Manning, and if you're just going on skill alone, just skill, Peyton is probably the best ever on just skill. Peyton, dude, was an absolute wizard. And my favorite, and it pains me that I can't argue the point anymore with you. I can't do it anymore.
I've been screaming this.
Yeah, so I got Peyton number 2. Number 3, I have Montana, like you, 4-0 in the Super Bowls. Never threw an interception in a Super Bowl either, which I thought is a really, really awesome stat. Number 4, I have John Elway.
Wow.
The first quarterback I ever, loved.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the first quarterback. I remember sitting in the den, in my den with my dad and my mom watching John Elway. That was the first quarterback that got me interested in football.
He usually finds his way into the top 5.
I
in
love
most discussions
John Elway,
I've heard.
dude.
He's
I
usually
love-
5 though.
I love Shannon Sharp, Terrell Davis. I love John Elway. So to me, and he has 2 Super Bowls. And he won them in the back part of his career. I think he was 36-37 or 35-36 when he won them.
I instantly think of the helicopter into the end zone.
Yes.
Or he got
Iconic play.
I mean, yeah,
It is.
Yeah, he's
Psychotic
tough.
and iconic.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
was.
He's tough as nails. And I love John Elway. And my number 5, dude, is probably going to shock. Dude, number 5, Brett Favre.
Wow. I mean,
Whoa.
No cap.
Hold on.
No cap.
You don't have Drew Brees in your top 5?
I don't. He's number 6 for me. I have those 2 right there. That's who it was.
Guys, I got to be honest. I don't know what's more disrespectful. Drew Brees not being in this top 5 or my homeboy telling me to go on Match.com. I don't know what's going on out here. But let's talk about it.
I care.
Hold
Let's
on,
talk about it.
family. You don't have Drew Brees in your top 5? He leads almost every category in passing.
I know. It was tough for me, but if I had it, my whole thing is if I had to take one quarterback to win me a game, I'm taking Brett Favre over Drew Brees.
he's a gamer.
I love the way he played the game. He's tough as nails, just like John Elway.
They got the same amount of rings.
I love the gunslinger, and he's been to one more Super Bowl. He's a gunslinger, and he takes the chances that you need. And it's just, to me, man, it's Brett Favre, bro. It really is. And then, like I said, I got Drew Brees at 6, and it was tough. But I just think that if you have one game to win, give me Brett over Drew Brees.
Wow. I like Brett Favre. I love Brett Favre.
Yeah, how
but
can you not?
wow. I'm shocked. But I respect it. Cool.
So after listening to
Not
you
really,
2,
no.
I'm gonna go 1 to 5 as well because I think that 1 through 3, I mean, it's exactly the way it should be. So I'm gonna go obviously Tom Brady, and yes, I will tell everybody. I've said it in previous shows that Peyton was always my GOAT. It is no longer arguable. Shut the hell up with your Tom Brady hate.
It's
and I
over.
was one of them. I
know.
was one of them.
I was there, dude. I did it my whole
I
life.
hated him.
I know.
I've been screaming.
I couldn't stand him. But you have to just call it what it is. It is what it is. So, I mean, it's not even arguable. I
It's
can't
not.
even
It
believe
sucks.
people
It
argue.
sucks,
anymore.
I can't believe it either.
Like, I'm even laughing.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
now,
crazy.
it's now like, I just come around to that like in recent years. So it is what it is, okay? Peyton Manning, again, like probably my favorite
I'm actually
ever.
shocked you have Peyton Manning ahead of Joe Montana.
Peyton Manning, clear cut number 2 for me. He was my GOAT before. The most cerebral quarterback ever. He changed the game forever. The video game numbers and the way the game is approached from a preparation, a game planning, and on the field standpoint. No one has ever done it like Peyton Manning ever, and that I will never change. The most cerebral quarterback ever. He was an offensive coordinator on the field. This is ridiculous. It's
He used to
unbelievable.
bother people watching the game because he would go up there and start pointing and audibling and shit. Like, it used to get
Until
annoying.
the last second.
Yeah. But
Watching him was a form of art. It's different than any other quarterback you'll
brilliant.
ever see. Like, I am glued to every play that Peyton is playing at quarterback. So it's a shame the injuries caught up at the end. We'll never know if he could have done more. He got the extra ring basically off of a defense.
on his walker.
He deserved it, though.
But he deserved it in the front of his career when the team had no defense, largely, almost his entire Indianapolis career. He had no defense. So he deserved it is what I'm getting at. But again, change the game. So clear cut number 2. It's not even close for me. Joe Cool's number 3. I think it's obvious based on what you guys said. That's how I grew up, watching a lot of Joe Cool footage. I mean, I was one of those kids that instead of, once I got tired of cartoons, I was watching NFL films, watching all that old shit, even the fucking black and gray, all that shit.
Leather helmets?
Leather helmets. Joe Cool, though. I love Jerry Rice, too. I'm a big Jerry Rice guy. But clear cut number 3. And again, not even close. Subject to change, though. At least I could see someone catching Joe Cool. I can't see anyone catching up.
Who?
I'm not going to say that yet.
I know who he's talking about. Pat Mahomes.
Okay. All right. As long as you don't get disrespectful.
And also, Aaron Rodgers' career is not over yet. And you can walk out. You can say whatever you want. He walked out, guys. That's his own problem. Because guess what? Aaron Rodgers is number 4 on my list.
He dipped.
Aaron Rodgers is number 4 on my list. Come on back, Mike. I'm going to educate you. All right? Aaron Rodgers is number 4 on my list. And that was actually like, I don't want to say last second change. Here, let me tell you who number 5 was first. Don't get upset, Nick. Dan Marino. You guys are forgetting the most talented quarterback in NFL history. He was the most talented. Aaron Rodgers is probably right there. I'm not going to say he was the most talented ever yet, but Dan Marino was the most talented quarterback ever. Okay? No ring, though. That definitely hurts. Drew Brees, the stats are there.
I can't believe you guys don't have Drew Brees in your
No,
top 5.
he's probably-
I mean, like, for fuck's sake.
I love Drew Brees. But I
confused.
can't. I just simply can't. Dan
Bro, he got all
Marino,
those stats. Only been to one bowl.
Dan Marino was the most talented quarterback in NFL history. And that is not even,
Short.
Dan Marino didn't win a bowl.
He in my top 5.
this is what I'm saying. So he's always going to go down as the best player to never win anything, really.
Brett Favre won one.
Been to 2.
So,
What the fuck does that
But-
matter?
It matters.
Come on.
Let him finish.
but yeah,
Sorry.
Aaron Rodgers is definitely number 4, with a chance to go higher as well. Because he's not done yet. He's probably got a solid 3 to 5 years left, if we're being honest. I mean, this is all situational, so it's kind of hard to predict when his situation is so up in the air right now. But, I mean, after last year, I don't see how you don't think he could be playing for at least 5 years. He's not Tom Brady's age, so why not?
What makes him climb up?
What makes him climb up to Joe Cool? He's got to win another ring, at least, for me to consider. And that's because this is Joe Cool we're talking about.
You do realize Aaron Rodgers, since his playoff victory, has blown in the playoffs.
This is opinion based, isn't it?
No. Look at his record.
I mean, it depends. If you're going to specific games, like the game against the Bucks, that was atrocious. But like, it's a
I'll
game
give him
by game.
one game. I give him a pass on the Seattle one.
Also, don't forget, like, as much as we're talking about quarterbacks and winning, because it does matter more for the quarterback position. It's a team game.
Oh yeah, though quarterback is
It is a team
everything.
game, and Mike McCarthy held that team back for an extra 5 years. He should have been fired long ago. So it would have made a difference, in my opinion. And the Packers, another team where it's the same as Peyton, where the defense was marginal at best for his entire career.
You got that. I'll give you
mean, that stands out the most to me. Like, Joe Cool was at least on these incredibly balanced rosters his entire career. It's almost like, I'm not throwing out all the clutch moments because you can't, but he did have the same kind of Tom Brady help, you know? He had really good rosters and great coaching. We're talking about 2 of the best head coaches ever, Bill Walsh and Bill Belichick. So, I mean, to me, that's like an elevator. Peyton Manning was basically a head coach, so like,
Yeah.
he didn't necessarily need that. But you know, Aaron Rodgers didn't have that. He didn't have that the length of his career.
I just feel like Aaron Rodgers has like, to me, he has more. I remember blunders from him.
But you're a notable Aaron Rodgers hater. So
Yeah, a little bit.
like,
I don't like Aaron Rodgers, but I respect his game.
I mean, to me, it's just he had one playoff run and that was it. That was it.
and that playoff run would have been different if not for Riley Cooper's drop in the end zone.
Yeah. With Michael
Just pointing
Vick.
that out. I saw that up close in person. So I can't forget that.
I mean,
the team that
getting
won
blown-
that game was winning the Super Bowl, and sure enough, it happened. It just wasn't us.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. But
So, sorry. I mean, Drew Brees, you
you
know,
have Drew
I'm
Brees 6?
hurt.
Who do you have 6? I'm just curious because I have Drew Brees 6.
I didn't go that far, but it's hard to not put him at 6. So I will leave you at that, I think.
Okay.
I mean, I can revisit this for you and give you another answer, but as of now, I would lean there. I don't think he gets enough respect either. So I agree with you there, Nick.
He's disrespected.
I just think that I think that
Drew Brees is great, dude. I'm not saying that.
But he's
I just don't know.
disrespected.
He's definitely in my top 10. I'll give you that. Okay. I mean that's fair. Look at all the phenomenal quarterbacks over time. So, and I've seen a bunch of different names in this argument. So that's where we're at.
So what makes you guys not put him in your top 5? Like what did he not do for you guys?
I don't feel like you can insert Drew Brees on a team and instantly go get yourself a bowl.
New Orleans did.
It wasn't instant, but
And he beat Peyton.
Peyton lost that Super Bowl more than Drew won.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, it was
Rhetoric.
good coaching by Sean Payton.
I
with
agree.
The onside kick.
I totally
before
agree.
The half.
But Peyton threw the interception that sealed that fate. It wasn't like, to me, like I said, the reason I feel like if it was Drew Brees or Brett Favre's winning you that game before Drew Brees is.
The one thing that Drew Brees is always going to have in his favor is the numbers. But again, this is where it comes back to the team point too. Is just the perfect situation for a quarterback-friendly offense with Sean Payton. Always had
wide receivers.
Always
too.
had the weapons. He was playing in a dome his whole career. So I'm not handicapping him based on that. I just think that everyone I named is clearly better. And I'm not thinking twice either. They were just better. Period.
You guys are wild.
Well, he looked at me like I was crazy.
Exclamation point.
You
Would you
guys
take
are
Drew or Brett?
wild. Disrespect.
Am I on an
I would-
island? Or is he on an island on that?
I'll be on the island. I don't give a shit.
I'm just
I'll
curious.
live on this
I
island.
kind
Drew
of view
Brees
that
is great.
more in an equal light, although I feel
Like you can go either way on that?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But Brett probably I would, I can't say that. No, they're equal. How about that?
Equal. Wow. I'm
You're
perplexed.
disrespecting Brett.
I'm not at all. I love Brett Favre.
I'm not disrespecting Drew, though.
But his Drew Brees he's leading like the stat category in almost everything. Like, how do you argue that? Especially you, Mike. You're a stat guy. You're a stat junkie.
Done more.
He could have done more. That's what I'm saying.
That's
he came up
why.
a tad short.
Okay, that's fine.
That's why, though,
Fair,
for me. And
fair.
also, he
That's-
never won an
that's fair.
MVP.
That's
so
fair. That's fair. But
Yeah, that too. I never even thought of that.
That is definitely something. He never
on.
won an MVP.
That's fair. But you have Dan Marino as your top 5, but he never won. I'm curious why.
Dan Marino,
just
dude,
simply
gets
talent
love.
base right there. And I don't think that you will find many top 5s that he's not in.
I think Drew Brees changed the game as far as quarterbacks in general
If
because
Dan Marino-
all the short quarterbacks coming in, like Russell Wilson,
Oh,
like
for
he
sure.
birthed them.
For sure.
He birthed them. So he changed the
Absolutely.
game in that regard for me.
Absolutely.
So
But-
yeah, I think you
If
guys
Dan
are
Marino
wild.
was on the Saints offense, oh my God, look out. That's the difference for me. It's like if Dan Marino took his place, even during that time period,
Yeah, he wouldn't have won another bowl.
I think it's just magic. It would have been magic. And Dan
arguable.
Marino was thrown to wide receivers of the likes of Don McNabb's weapons, minus the TO here. So, I mean, just pointing that out there too. He did this with virtually nothing.
I don't know. I
Food
just
for
think
thought. Different time period of the game, but
the way he uplifted that entire city after Hurricane Katrina, it's just really hard to argue.
you could
for
say
me.
it
I
was
mean,
biblical.
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
It's
Bro,
not putting him
he's-
in my top 5
That's what I'm saying.
or
And-
most top 5.
And just real fast to draw a parallel, that was my same thing with Phillip Rivers. Those are all feel-good stories, but that doesn't make them better quarterbacks.
His entire body of work
It's great.
has exactly.
I know that.
Yeah.
Like-
It's sixth.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you something about Dan Marino. Like Dan Marino was throwing for 5,000, 4,000 plus yards before anybody in the history of the game. Like that's just Dan Marino revolutionized the quarterback position. Like
And his
that
ring
was
fingers
when
are clean.
when the passing game evolved. It was with Dan Marino. That's pre-Peyton Manning video game numbers. Then Peyton just took it to a whole different level. But Dan was the first to do it.
Peyton Manning also had bomb squads on offense.
I will say this though.
But Peyton would have done that no matter what, in my opinion.
He did. He did it with the Broncos.
I will say this.
So-
it's Drew Brees never won an MVP. Like, he's been wildly disrespected his entire career.
I actually can't believe that he never won an MVP.
It's disrespectful, dude. He should have won at least one or two.
He should have had one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, for me, he was never the popular guy, which I don't understand. I mean, like, the way he helped out Hurricane Katrina, I just thought that was, I think he's an icon.
Let me just give you some context before we call it a night here. 1984 is the year, right? Let me take you all the way back to 1984.
I'm still on my dad's balls, but go ahead.
Dan Marino was a 23-year-old second-year quarterback and threw for 5,084 yards, 48 touchdowns, and 17 picks. This is 1984. Nobody was doing that.
Did he win the ring that year?
Team game. But first team All-Pro, second. I mean, he went to 3 straight and 4,000 plus yards in each one. He had a remarkable run right there alone. I mean, like I said, revolutionized the position. That's exactly why I would put him at number 5. Exactly why.
I expected him actually to be higher with you because I know you're very.
I was dedicated to 4 for him, but I think Aaron Rodgers passed him. This past year, he passed him.
I'm gonna have to get up and get out of here.
And I'm sorry, but Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys that's also looked at as one of the most talented ever, if not the most talented. And this is a guy who was a mixture of talent.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that too. I'm so disappointed in you.
He's a mixture of the talent and the cerebral side. He's like the perfect blend. So what he lacks, though, is maybe leadership. You could maybe argue that. But again, I told you I have no problem with that, the way he leads. I don't have a problem with that. If you're going to be a pretentious dickhead, whatever, I don't give a fuck. If you're carrying me in games, I don't give a fuck.
I'll give you that.
And his teammates care about him, so I don't care.
I'll give you that. Nobody leads their team to losses better than Aaron Rodgers. I totally agree with you.
Cut it.
Yep.
We got to get out of here. Now, take it away.
That's the end of our show. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also hit the notification bell. Also, give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we'll see you guys next week.